Hello, everyone, to RockPunch ATL hosting Tampo Season 2. I'm HTT Paladin, and this is my lovely cast. Hi, lovely cast.
Hi, HTT Paladin.
Hi, Latia. Can you introduce yourself for everybody at home?
I guess. Hi, everybody. My name is Latia. I am happy to be here. Should I say? No, I'm not gonna say that. You might know me from other streams and things, and I'm happy to be back for season 2 of Tampo as somebody who is just as amazing and maybe even buffer than last time. So, really, really happy to show you all what is going on.
Who's next?
Josh is above me, so you go.
Oh, okay. Hello. My name is Josh. I'm a whole bunch of things: freelance tabletop game designer, variety streamer, and the assistant director of ambassadors at Jasper's Game Day. I'm very excited to be playing a new character as well. Spoiler alert: we're not playing the same characters as last season. But yeah, what else am I supposed to say? I don't know. I'm bad at these.
Jesus, y'all. You're not gonna throw it to somebody? Jesus, I'll go. Nope, okay. Nope. The struggle is real today, apparently. Hi, y'all. My name is Omega Jones, also known as the Critical Bard. Critical Bard across all social media channels, and I am also playing a different character. I am not the cuddly Tyler Rock with his best friend Bayani anymore. You'll find out who I'm playing soon. Very excited to be here for season 2 of this amazing show. I'm gonna throw it over like you should do to Zia.
Hi, I'm Lucia. I'm obviously new here. I feel like I have some big shoes to fill from last season, but I'm really excited. You can find me everywhere as Seer Sword, and yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be awesome. I also wrote the supplement, so that was cool. I was lead director on it.
Ooh.
So
Yay!
I get to finally play in it.
And I'm Paladin. I was co-director for the Islands of Sina Una. And before we get into the game, I do believe we have some sponsors and thank yous to say.
Oh yeah, hold up. Let me get my stuff set up real quick. I gotta do a thing for that.
Oh no.
Sorry, just it's important. Give me 2 seconds. Okay.
I'm not ready for this already.
Right. Okay, there we go.
I'm really not.
Great, good. All right. Welcome back to Radio Tampo, the only Twitch.tv smooth jazz radio show this side of the Mississippi. And today, you can butter me up and call me a biscuit because I'm your host, DJ Butter, here to spin up some smooth tunes for you and your special someone tonight. This is our semi-annual segment, Pickup Lines that deal psychic damage. And baby, have I got a 1d4 vicious mockery cantrip for you. Anyways, let's get started. Here's some pickup lines that DJ Butter might use to cast a grease spell and slide right into your DMs. Sugar, you're sweeter than a lollipop, and it's universal knowledge that I suck, so why don't we team up? Hey, baby, what's your idea of the perfect date? Mine is playing in a tabletop game using exclusively products from Hit Point Press, like Humblewood, Hegna, the Islands of Sina Una, the Griffin Saddlebag, the deck of many animated spell cards, and so much more. Hey, are you a chain devil? Because, to quote Rihanna, whips and chains excite me. Girl, you look more snuggly than the Humblewood owl on the front cover, available now at hitpointpress.com. And that's saying something. Hey, are we in Waterdeep? Because if you want to head downtown, I'll let you visit my Baldur's Gate. Baby, I'm no sugar daddy, but I want to buy you all the nice things. Like every single t-shirt, PDF, and book from the Hit Point Press store. You must be a big deal, honey, because I'm more excited to see you than I am about the 10% discount you can get in the Hit Point Press store when you follow our affiliate link here in the Twitch chat. Thank you, This has been Pickup Lines That Deal Psychic Damage, sponsored by Hit Point Press. For high-quality TTRPG content like cool new settings, supplements, and so much more, visit hitpointpress.com. And remember, folks, always get consent. DJ Butter, signing off nice and smooth.
Thank you, DJ Butter.
No. Wow.
I believe we have some other sponsors too.
I'm not doing all that because the Bible said in the Audacity Lations that was not okay. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to RockPunch ATL for producing this stream for us. We are so happy to know them as friends and happy that they wanted to tell the story along with the folks who created Sinuna and us. Check out RockPunch ATL. They have amazing shows on Twitch, including D4, which is their Prime Dungeons and Dragons campaign every Sunday. Check that out for lots of chaos, a lot more chaos than whatever that was. And yeah. So we want to shout out Idle Champions. Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is an amazing game that you can get all over, whether it's Epic Store or Steam or PlayStation or mobile or iOS or Android. It's a cool game that has many cool characters, including Shaka over from Waterdeep, and oh my God, Lauren, what is your Dragonborn's character? I can't
Kira.
Kira. I was about to say Odessa, but that's Let's Go Wildmount. Including Odessa Ildrex over from D4 and Heroes of the Plain. If you look above me, you will see a code that says code AN-SKSCAB. Put in that code to get an Electrum chest right now. And I believe there's a code command in chat as well for folks to use. Again, big shout out to those two. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And that's that. Paladin, back to you.
Oh man, you called out my favorite letter, Esk.
Esk.
A, B, C, S, D. Sorry, I need
Amazing.
I'm still recoiling from DJ Butter. I'm sorry.
This is such a good start.
I'm so
Such a
happy to
good
be
start.
back.
Yep. Now that our sponsors are done, seriously, thank you to RockPunch ATL for having us here. And with all that said, time to welcome you to Tampo. Hi.
I was so hoping the cameras would come back while you were drinking.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm lucky like that. In case you all like that wonderful intro video, that came from a person named Zach who did this for a little or less. Their Twitter's gonna be in the description. But seriously, hope you like it. And with that said, Tampo Season 2.
Oh boy.
You all arrive in your own time to the town of Agasan, located on Putawanan, which you can see right above me, actually. It's primarily known as a mining island. While one settlement is very high up in the mountains and one is known for its mining, Agasan is the smaller of the towns here. Near the coastline, it's bustling with activity with seaside markets, with the trade going on, and today especially, a lot of incense traders. Many people come here to seek all kinds of things. Maybe fortune with the iron trade, maybe to seek an audience with the jeweled hawk. Some people come here to seek the spirits, and some people near the farthest reaches of the island seek to get away. But why have you come? Why is it you're here? Pilar, could you describe yourself real quick?
There you go.
A little too quick.
All right. Pilar is like above average height. She's about 5'9", 5'10". Wears her hair exactly as I am wearing it now, a bun and kind of like messy dark brown locks with what looks like roots growing through them. Golden brown skin, brown eyes, and this mischievous smirk on her face. In kind of like drab red and gold clothing and leather armor. And she is currently carrying several leather pelts.
What are in those pelts? What pelts are those?
They are boar pelts.
Boar pelts. As you've been doing some hunting at Adlaato?
Yes, I am coming home to Agusan from Adlaato, where I have been for about a year.
You know, around this time of year, a lot of people are here just to see around this time of the year, there's a ritual to Kamatayan, the Iron Serpent. Sometimes it's for war, but other times it's a little more peaceful. You haven't heard winds of anyone fighting, any Datus among the different islands going to war recently, so you can only hope and surmise that people are setting up their prayers and incense for veneration or to honor the new trade season. But you know your father, who takes on odd jobs, is a kind of a very generous way to put it. Your father's a lot of odd jobs when it comes to trade, switching from goods to goods, never really staying with anything, even within the same trade season. Around this time of year, you would suspect that he is dealing with incense. It's the most profitable with this kind of annual ritual. And that's his business. What's your business right now?
My business is these pelts. I have killed many a boar, and these are the best ones from Adlaato.
Okay. Where are you gonna try and sell these?
It's a good question. I haven't been home for a while, so I'm just gonna follow everybody else.
Everybody else is going in every direction possible, it seems, with all these essentially tourists coming through to take gawk at the festival, to take gawk at the ritual. You see people cleaning up seaside shrines. You see people trying to set up boats for incense. Some of them clearly are practiced, still stained with different colorations, and some of them are definitely new and definitely aren't made for this. And you can tell that with like a good wave or two, they're going to get knocked down. Whatever incense was placed on them is going to be wasted entirely.
Mm-hmm.
You could say something, but you want to sell pelts, yes?
Yeah. It's not my problem if they don't know how to set up.
Exactly. Well, you could always sell near the seaside market, but most people are looking for fish or, at this time of year, snake bones to make necklaces. People believe that necklaces made with these serpent bones help avert lightning that comes about when Kamatayan is called upon.
Mm-hmm.
You'd also try just deeper into your hometown. You know the people here. If you can't get the best price, you know people will take things off your hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll go further inland.
You head further into your hometown, and it's still familiar. You see some familiar faces. You see some of the same old buildings, a new family here too, but it's still home. It's always gonna be home.
Hmm.
And setting up outside of your family home, you see as you are a part of this mainstream of crowd, you see your father weighing incense. Kind of weathered now after a good year. You're not really sure what happened, but gray hairs happen eventually, very suddenly. And he seems to be wearing it all right. He hasn't tried to cope with any kind of odd way or any kind of, you know, dyed way. And he is just weighing out different pounds of incense of different colors and just very nervous looking overall.
Well, he doesn't know that I'm coming home, so I'm going to surprise him. So I'm just gonna walk up.
You're like a good 2 feet from him, and he's still just engrossed in these incense, just kind of muttering to himself very softly.
Can I hear what does it just sound like he's measuring, or is he saying something elsewise?
Can you give me a perception check? Because there is a huge crowd just going past you.
All right. First roll of the campaign. No pressure.
No pressure. Did you make the first roll last campaign?
I probably did. That's a 13.
That's a 13. You hear him very softly just talking to himself. Was this a good deal or not? I haven't dealt with incense in 2 seasons, but no, I couldn't have gotten ripped off, could I? No, they'll take this and they'll offer me the payment. No, I need to fix the boat. Is this gonna be enough for the boat? I need back to fishing. I need to make sure it's back in repairs by the time Pilar gets back home.
I'm home.
Your father has always been a very kind of reedy person, not prone to very loud sounds, not very prone to being excitable. But upon you just going, "I'm home," he goes, "Ah!" And he turns around and looks at you. He turns around and looks at you and goes, "Oh, welcome home."
Hi.
What are you doing? He helps. He like very very fatherly helps you take the pelts off your body, and then reaches out for just a big hug to hug his daughter.
Yeah, I return it.
Yeah. He squeezes you and goes, "Ah, Pilar, how have you been?"
I've been fine. Incense?
Yes, incense. Yes.
You don't sound too confident about incense.
I am perfectly confident in incense.
I just look at him with this face.
He's starting to crack already. You haven't said a word in response to that, but he's already starting to crack.
You know what? We'll make do with incense.
Yes, we will. How was Avato?
It was fine. Lots of hunting.
Were you okay with the monsoon season?
It was wet.
Well, yes, it's going to be wet.
It was monsoon season.
Good. Well, can you help me with the incense? Like, can you leave the pellets here?
Yes.
Okay, I just need your help getting the incense down to the docks. Is that okay?
How close to the water are you selling the incense?
Oh, I already have a buyer. It's fine.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, I'll help you.
Thank you. And you work with your father to load up this incense onto a kind of a new addition to his home. It looks like he has a water buffalo now. He just goes around and guides forward this water buffalo who just seems very perturbed. You're not really sure how to assign emotions to an animal, really, but it when it glances over to you, you're pretty sure it's a person, just with this look of just concern. It seems shocked to be here.
Father?
Yes.
Why do you have a water buffalo?
To move incense.
When did you get the water buffalo?
3 days ago.
Before we begin moving, I kneel in front of this water buffalo and I cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
Hi, what's your name?
Oh my God, you talk?
Oh my God, yes.
What are you?
Uh, I'm an elf.
What's an elf?
I have a relationship with nature and with animals to improve the balance of all.
Do we have a relationship?
We could be friends.
Okay.
All right, what's your name?
A what?
All right. Would you be so kind as to help us take the incense to the docks?
Okay. What are incense?
It's the stuff that my father's putting on you.
What's a dock?
It's near water.
What's near water?
The dock.
What's a dock?
It's something that goes out over water that you can walk on to walk on the water.
Like a bird? You can walk on a bird?
No. It's like land on water.
So it's land.
Yes, it's land.
So why does the land have a different name?
It's special land.
What makes it special?
We made it. It wasn't already here.
Okay.
Okay.
And kind of this kind of calling back and forth with this water buffalo care about. You move forward with it. It seems very diligent, just very surprised to be here. Mm. And as you head back to the docks, the eye. It's been a little bit of a quiet journey for you, hasn't it?
Yes.
It'd be quieter at home with everybody moving out, essentially.
Probably.
But your traveling vessel makes it to Agusan, to Putawanan, and you get off with everybody else. What do you look like?
Well, you see a gnome with fairly simple attire, a little bit of color, but what's most remarkable about him, aside from his, graying hair, would be the fact that his skin is inlaid with these designs. They look like tattoos, but they're gold. These patterns and decorations on his face, his neck, his shoulders, his arms, peeking out from underneath his shirt, everywhere. He's covered in them. And so as he will perhaps step off of the boat onto the dock, he'll kind of take that step and then pause for just a moment and turn and look back and kind of like do one of these things, indicating towards a small little bird that appears to be perhaps perched on something on the boat. It's a little, its underbelly is kind of the color of mango, but the backside of its head and its wings are more of a royal purple, fading into like a very luscious pink and magenta. And he'll kind of just turn and be like, "Come on, aren't you coming? We've got places." Never mind. And we'll just turn and start walking.
It's a lot louder here than Hanapin. A lot more people too.
Yes, much.
Back in your coastline, it's a lot quieter. There's still people there, but they aren't just so congested. It feels all at one place. But here, a lot of people who might have seen things. Why are you here, Da'ai?
I'm here to visit family. My daughter, son-in-law.
How recently have they wed?
Oh, it's been a little while, a couple of years perhaps. But we don't talk about that, really.
Fair enough. Either way, if they're here, and you can probably find them then, yeah?
I imagine I might need to stop and ask for a little bit of help, some directions, but I'll find my way eventually.
Do you try and ask for help?
You know what? Yeah. I think first thing off the boat, I'll kind of look around. Perhaps I can find the Babylan in town.
You know that around this time of day, Babaylan Dalisai will be incredibly busy with the upcoming festivities. And can you roll me a religion check or a nature check?
Sure, let's just see. Let's just see which of those is better. Let's do nature.
Let's do nature? All right, give me a nature check.
Okay. Great. We're off to a good start. That is a 13.
A 13?
Double digits.
Fantastic. As you look around and trying to look for the Babylan, just like trying to get some help, you realize this time of year, Dalisai would be actually very, very busy with the preparations to invoke Kamatayan, the Iron Serpent. You know that around this time of year, they always do a kind of festival honoring her, invoking her, and trying to call forth her blessing for a couple of reasons. But the two that you're most interested in is just a blessing to help out the upcoming trade season. Another reason is to ask for safe passage for spirits. Even after one has started to trail down the Black River after death, doesn't mean that the journey is necessarily immediately over. And people think it's prudent to give tribute to the Iron Serpent just to help it along.
Sure. Yes. It's especially good then that I'm going to see the Babylan. Perhaps we can talk about this.
And you remember Dalisai. You remember being there when she was first learning her lessons. You remember a bit about her past and why it's not polite to bring it up.
Of course.
But you also remember that her Abayan takes the form of a pet snake to honor Kamatayan. But as you're looking around, you see a familiar face and a bunch of memories stir up. You look over and see Gaita.
Oh.
Gaita, can you please describe yourself?
Gaita is a fairly short, elderly, almost lady. Not quite on the cusp of being like super duper old. But she has this sash that she wears over her head, and you can see that the long ponytail that trails back is this like bright green. But in the front, right where her scalp starts, all of her roots are starting to grow out gray. She's wearing pretty basic clothes, except for like a kind of more fanciful green sash that she has. And she's just got this big sword attached to her back. This is very busy for her, this type of area. So I would assume that she probably sought out like a younger person in the crowd to kind of try and help her. And she's using that kind of like old lady shtick to get to get somebody to guide her through the crowd so that people aren't stepping on her, because she is pretty short.
Gaita, as you arrive, tell me, why are you here?
I am also visiting my son and my daughter-in-law, and they are expecting. So I'm here celebrating their marriage and visiting, but I'm also possibly here for a baby shower of sorts.
Possibly. I mean, one can hope. Those tend to be fun, right?
Mm.
But you step off of your traveling boat, and you look around, and there's just a bunch of people moving out and about, and just a little bit away on the dock, as people are giving you just a little bit of breathing room once they see the massive sword that you carry around with you. You glance over and see a familiar-looking face with a familiar-looking kingfisher spirit. You see the eye.
I give a sort of sheepish wave from across the market.
I will walk over. No, I suppose I shouldn't be that surprised to see you. How are things?
Less than wonderful.
Well, I'm terribly sorry to hear that. Everything all right with Raya, Poitog?
The kids are great as normal. I mean, they're thriving and they're married and they're so happy. No, just home things.
Well, fair. Now, have you been to their place yet? I'm literally just off the boat a second ago. I'm not sure where it is.
I visited maybe a year ago, but I've been busy with the house.
Sure, of course. So do you remember how to get there? I just, I'm here to see them. I should probably say hello.
Of course I remember how to get there. They're my children. I must always remember where they are.
I'm good. Great. That's very important.
Yeah, as you should, I assume.
Right. Yes. So, would you be willing to take me now, or are you in the middle of? If you're in the middle of something, it's totally fine. Another time, maybe. Another time.
Well, I was going to head there in a moment. I was just picking up some things to bring to their house.
Oh. So, like, you're on your way there now?
Yeah, I can be on my way there now. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, if you would be willing to show me the way, I would appreciate it.
Yes, we can travel together.
Okay, thank you. Come on, hurry, keep up. Looking at the bird.
You see the bird finally lift up, its wings very rapidly flapping as it flies over to you. And it flies over to your shoulder and kind of lands on it. There's no physical contact because Abayan spirits can't actually interact with the physical world, but it kind of stays near your shoulder and then puts its wings down. You kind of put in the back of your mind the fact that it doesn't actually need to flap its wings to fly. But howsoever, it's on your shoulder, more or less.
Yes. Now, the last time Hari flew without moving his wings, I scolded him because he's frightened a small child.
Understandable. A bird moving without flapping its wings seems inherently wrong, honestly.
It defies the laws of physics, which is frightening when a small child just sees a bird, just wings at its side, just run towards you. Anyways.
But as Gaita and I, you head off towards your families. Manalo, what do you look like?
Manalo is a 6'5", 6'6" tall creature with a crocodile-esque form. He's an Umalagat dragonborn, but the dragonborn in Sinauna take on more either snake-like or reptile-like features. He is almost albino in color, white and gray for the most part. Very elongated face with sharp teeth if he opens his mouth. You see him in grays and blacks, just ragged clothes, things that he probably picked up or were given because he had none underneath that. A little bit more reinforced armor-esque clothing because the islands of Sinauna are not for the weary. So got to protect yourself in some way, shape, or form, but it still looks like a hand-me-down, almost like it was stitched up. It's already stitched up, but looks like it was like deliberately like stitched together for him. If you look closer, you see almost coming from the top of his head down, all down through his arms. You see just these blackish gray tendril-like just lines, almost like cracks on his skin. But the most prominent thing you see is the golden thing affixed to the top of his head, covering his eyes, most of his nose, almost kind of melted down, completely covering his eyes. He has a very cold demeanor, but that's what you see. And you also see if I go to my stuff, on the side you see like a dagger, and you see a blowgun-esque thing on the other side, but that's about it.
I mean, while there are other Umalagat dragonborn here, standing 6'8", 6'10", 6'4", anything above the 6 foot line, essentially, if they're strong enough, all present, all moving around, but there's a wide breadth given to you because of the mask you have on your face.
Mm-hmm.
But you can sense they move away from you, just a little bit once they turn upon you. But they're not really why you're here. Why are you here?
Manalo, you can tell, for lack of a better word, because Manalo is blind. But he's looking, it's the best way I can say it. He's looking for someone. You can see, or you can just tell by the way he stops when somebody gets close to him and reaches out, or the way that he kind of surveys and feels with his feet where he is. He's looking for someone who he was told would be here. Someone by the name of Benoy. He had someone that he knew in the past, and they referred to this Benoy as a friend who could help them move forward. So he is currently searching for this Benoy individual.
As you move through the crowd, a bunch of them are just rushing ahead. Some of them are milling about, some of them go in a different direction, some of them are very moving with a direct purpose, and just a lot of people go through your field of sensory. Do you know what you're looking for in Benoy? Do you have an inkling of who to look for?
They were told that they were as tall with horns, but that doesn't really do anything for him. They're definitely a Carabao tiefling. They were told that they worked with a lot of metals and things, so probably a blacksmith. They were told that they can be friendly, but also can be very blunt. So they're listening to how the people are speaking to them. They're trying to, with consent, and ask what they look like, even asking for Benoy themselves if anybody has ever heard of them. Potentially they could be an individual in this town, in this place, that has a little bit of notoriety. So he is trying his best to figure out not necessarily where to go, but how to get to his destination.
Mm-hmm. As you're calling out, trying to find this Benoit, you hear a voice across the crowd yell out, "Are you looking for Benoit?"
He just stops. Yes. Are you Benoit?
No, but I work with him.
Would you be able to take me to him?
Wrapping your sense around him to get a good idea of what he looks like, you can tell that he's kind of he works a lot. Essentially, there's a lot of muscle, but it's taut from having to do a lot of moving around. Next to him is this very large carabao with saddlebags, and from just smelling the air, you can tell that there are incense just jam packed into each and every single saddlebag and pack. And next to him is a taller woman, younger from what you can tell, next to him, who smells like boar for some reason. Yeah, no, I can I know where he works. I can take you to him. I have to sell this incense first. If you don't mind waiting.
That would be most appreciative.
Father, does Benoit still work in the same place he worked the last time I was here?
He moved into a bigger building.
Where?
Little on the west side of town.
Okay.
Farther away from the river.
I can take him.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you have to sell the incense.
Yes, I know, but this is my daughter Pilar.
Hi.
Hello. He does. You see his face turn towards you. You can tell that he has a sense of he could kind of tell what's around him at any given time. Just past that certain point of perception is a lot harder for him. Hello. I am Manalo.
I'm Pilar.
Pleased to meet you. Thank you. You do not have to use time on me. I can find Benoit if I know the direction.
That's fine. I need to, I haven't been home in a while, so. It would do me good to refamiliarize myself with Augustan.
Understood. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to reach into my pouch and regardless pull out a little bit of coin and hand it over to the man. And I can say, regardless, you do me a good service. Thank you.
He seems very taken aback by the coin. Okay, yes, thank you. And you see him slide it into one of his loose vest pockets.
All right, and even then, you saw his hand was shaking a little bit as he did it, but he gave it to him regardless. And he, well, I should go find if you can lead.
Sure. Father, sell well, and then I will pat the carabao on the head and say, you do good as well. By this time, I'm pretty sure my speak with animals has faded. It's only 10 minutes.
Yeah. The carabao looks up and goes,
Excellent.
Da'ai and Gaita. Young people are very fast. Young people are a little bit too fast, it feels like, as the crowd moves just very much around you, almost sometimes at a running speed, sometimes a literal running speed, just going past you two. And Dwight, you see people are giving Gaita just a little bit of breath that they're coming from behind because they see the ginormous sword on the old woman. But they tend to give you two some breathing room as you try and move slowly through the crowd. Gaita, gifts for your family. You know, around this time that for this festival in particular, a bit of incense would help. Perhaps a snake bone necklace. What would also help is some people make these copper discs and inscribe a symbol of Kamatayan on it and offer it up to the sea or to the river. What do you want to do?
I think just for the festivities, I would like to look for incense, as I'm assuming that that's like cultural here, because I haven't been in so long. And then I'm also trying to see if there's anybody here who's offering like either talismans or like bamboo scrolls of like protection, especially with like with the baby and the mom carrying.
Mm-hmm. Could you give me a perception check?
I can.
Perception or investigation, your choice.
We'll do perception. That's a 14.
A 14. Okay. Looking around as you move slower into the town, you see a bunch of people with incense, but a lot of them are just swarmed. But as you're walking past one particular person, you smell just a very distinct ping of very heavy incense coming from a carabao.
I'll kind of turn over to Dai next to me. I'm going to pick up a couple of things before we leave.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
I'm sure you can follow.
Yes, I'm very capable, thank you.
Very good. And I'll head over that way, as trying my best to go through the crowd. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. People are sometimes a little abrupt going past you, tripping over you sometimes. But you eventually make your way over to the seller, who you see is kind of looking around, and you see him unwrapping a very large banana leaf and pulling out a small piece of cheese to chew on.
I'll kind of look at it with a scrunch of my nose, but I see that you're carrying some very nice incense there. Are they available for purchase?
Huh? Yes, they are. How much are you wanting?
A standard pack, however much families use around this time, I suppose.
Oh, sure. You see him look around and then open up a pack on the carabao and wrap up in this loose cloth about a half a pound of incense. Two silver?
That's fine. That's fine, right? I turn to Dai again.
It depends on the family size. How many people?
2.5.
You'll be fine. Are you new here?
Just visiting, but yes.
Oh, are you getting gifts for children?
Well, my children, they're not really children anymore, but they're having a child, so sort of.
Children are children, no matter how old they get.
just to celebrate with them. I'm not entirely sure of the festivities here, but it seems to be the thing to do.
Right. Well, welcome to Agusan. If you're trying to get them gifts, this is a local custom not really talked about with other people, but if you can get kind of the image of a snake on a pendant as a talisman made out of iron. It goes a long way.
I will look into where could I get one of those?
We have a pandai who works with iron here.
Oh, wonderful. Do you have a name and directions and such?
He just kind of points. He kind of like tries to get his eyesight right. You're not really sure what he's trying to point at, but he just points in a direction across town. If you go that way and look and ask for Benoy.
Am I still here?
You're farther off.
Okay.
If you look for Benoy, he will be able to help you out.
Benoy. Oh, thank you so much.
Of course. Actually, along the way is my daughter and one of the Umulagad.
Oh.
If you just find a very, very tall, very pretty elf woman, again, gorgeous young lady.
Wow, I'm sure.
You'll be able to find, if you can find her and her dragonborn friend, they can, if you just follow them, they'll take you to Benoy.
Certainly, I am sure she will be easy to spot. Thank you so much, and I'll go ahead and pass the 2 silver.
He takes it. He takes it as you hand him the silver. He puts a little more incense and gives you a wink and hands you the pouch.
Oh, thank you.
Of course, and again, welcome to Agusan.
Excuse me, where did I notice you have some cheese there? Where did you perhaps procure that?
Oh, my neighbors make it.
Oh.
Do you want some?
If you have some, of course.
Of course, and you see him fill in a different pouch on the carabao. He pulls up another banana leaf package. He looks to you, Gata. Do you want some too?
I'm sure she would love some.
Wonderful. He takes out 2 packages of cheese and hands one to you, Da'ai, and hands one to you, Gaita.
Very good. Very good.
You're very kind.
And I would be happy to pay him for that. Should he require payment?
He'll need like maybe 3 copper.
Of course, I'll just make it 4.
He thanks you. And when you say Benoy, tell him Danso sends you.
Oh, very good.
So, what do you 2 do?
When we get to like the point where we're kind of out of eye line with this man that I didn't get the name of.
Danso.
I'll
type the name out for you.
Okay. When we're like kind of out of eye line, I'll have to procure the cheese.
It looks very good.
Well, you can have my portion, as I would be so kind to offer it to you.
Of course, I
No,
can
pass.
always count
pass
on
it
you to
over.
be very generous with your cheese.
Very generous. Indeed.
You 2 move forward, and once you break away from much of the crowd, you see that you see an elven woman and an Umlagad dragonborn walking a little bit ahead of you, moving towards a building on the far side of town.
And while we're walking, I'm just explaining. I get the sense that, I mean, you've explained it, but I get the sense that Manalo can only ascertain things within a certain radius of himself.
Yeah, you could to put it plainly, he has blind sight. He can perceive things within the 30-foot radius of him for the most part.
Okay.
But yeah, outside of that, it's what's iffy. But within that, he can sense vibrations and feel and understand, and he knows when people are around him. A bit of echolocation.
Okay.
But yeah, he's never struggling, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
So I'm explaining, like, it probably went something like I was explaining things that may have been like 15, 20 feet out, and you were like, yeah, I know. So I started describing things that were further out
Mm-hmm.
until I figured it out. So I'm just like describing I'm describing Agusan to you beyond the range of what you can see.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. And he'll just he'll listen, he'll nod, and It sounds like it is a beautiful place.
It's pretty okay. I haven't been here for a while, but it's my hometown, so.
It's still beautiful, I assume.
This far out, Pilar, you get a better view of the town away from the maddening crowd. You see you see all the kind of droves of people moving in and about, and some people break away from the main buildings. But here, as you come upon this hill just behind some buildings, you see the full scope of your hometown. You see how there's a little bit into the forest towards the river. You see as the docks of Agusan stretch for a good while into the sea itself. And you see the dozens upon dozens of boats that make up both its wartime force and just the trade routes that come and go through Agusan. Mm-hmm. From here in Agusan, you see the different trails that head deeper into Patawanan, where they head deeper and deeper until they finally make it across there to make trade with the other two settlements. Mm-hmm. Of course, trade with Simulong is a lot easier than with him Papariwan high up in the mountains, but they make do. And Agusan thrives on its trade. Thankfully, though, you didn't see a lot of boar. Boar here is especially rare, and you lucked out with finding so many boar to hunt in Adlaato. Typically during the monsoon season, they're a lot harder to find, let alone hunt.
I like a challenge. What can I say?
Yeah, but here, just fresh outside of monsoon season, it's for at least a moment very, very calm. And then you hear what sounds like two elderly people going back and forth about cheese.
I turn I'm still walking, but I'm like, I've done that thing where I've turned around and I'm now walking backwards. Just kind of surveying the cheese argument.
The Ayang Gaita, as you come across this hill, you see again the Dragonborn and that elven woman now walking backwards looking at the two of you. And she is looking at the two of you. There's no one else here.
Very strange. Do people here normally walk backwards?
I'm not sure, but if I ascertain the information, I assume this is the daughter, correct?
No, that's entirely possible.
Was it Pilar? He told us.
Yes.
Like with my perception, can I also hear that name be said?
Yes, you can.
Hello. We just ran into your father, and we're looking for someone named Benoit, and he volunteered you to guide us. You're not under any obligation to do so, but it would be so kind.
No, it's fine. We're on our way to Benoit also.
I begin to turn around. I turn the other way so my tail doesn't whip Pilar. Why do you seek Benoit too?
Well, I'm looking for a particular kind of pendant or carving of metal for the celebration for my children.
I understand. I personally do not mind if you join us.
Thank you. And your name was?
Manalo.
Manalo. Very strapping name.
I don't know if it is a scrapping name or not. It just is my name.
Fair.
And your name, if we are to be traveling together now?
I am Gaita, and this is my acquaintance.
Hello, Dai.
It is nice to meet you, Dai.
Well, but Noise is his place is behind me. This is, I don't want to seem rude, Gaita, but are you any good with that?
Oh, this?
Mm-hmm.
She sort of like runs her hand along it. At least as far as the bamboo in my yard is concerned, yes. Okay. I mean, I can whack out a yard of it in one swipe.
Very efficient. It's a very sharp-looking piece.
Yes. I assume should anyone bother us, it would be most useful.
How does that cheese smell?
That cheese smells good, honestly. It's not too pungent. It's not that right mix of like, this is some real good cheese, but it's not like hoity-toity cheese where only certain people can bear the smell of it. Like, it smells good.
And do they have it out, or they're just like, it's already gone?
I imagine I've got like one package of it open in my hand, just like casually snacking on it as we're walking.
Okay, I was curious.
Do you just continue forward, or do you want to talk about anything? Or do you carry on an awkward silence?
Manala doesn't speak much.
No, well, I think once it's kind of ascertained that we're all headed towards Benoist, I'm going to turn around very awkwardly and say, well, to Benoist.
Wonderful.
Very good. Hurry, keep up.
You notice that your Abayan just had its attention grabbed by something, and looking back over, it just glides through the air very fast back to your shoulder.
Okay, I will point a finger at it and I will say, stop staring at things that you don't know. Proceed forward.
While we're walking, Manalo's still facing forward. The gray black tendrils, the cracks on his arms will begin just subtly like pulse up down his arm towards his hand as I cast guidance on myself. Okay. And then a hand is going to float off of my hand as I cast Mage Hand. And I'm going to attempt to stealthily or silently take some of the ice cheese.
All right.
As we're walking.
Okay. Normally I would say you would have to like be looking at him, but because of your sensory skills, you can, please roll me a sleight of hand check. What is your passive perception?
My passive perception is 13. And I think this would be remarkable, is I might notice like the tendrils and be like, oh, young man, are you all right? As this is happening.
That is math. 22.
Yes.
22. That beats a 13.
Sure does. I'm like, oh, young man, are you quite all right? There appears to be things there on your arm.
He doesn't say anything.
Okay. Whatever.
But as we continue to walk, the mage hand comes back, and I just...
All right. The cheese hit your mouth, and you were right. You were right. It's good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
It's a nice goat cheese. It's very good. Not too soft.
I
just keep walking. I say nothing.
Can I roll a perception check to attempt to notice this?
Yeah, go for it. Attempt to notice the cheese.
We'll attempt to notice cheese.
This is...
I'm rolling a notice cheese check.
This is painfully us. Please roll to notice cheese. This is very painfully us.
It's a 22.
22. You do notice cheese.
Oh my God.
You started it.
Well, I notice this, and I smirk and do not say anything.
You continue moving forward across this small field next to Agusan, and eventually make your way to this Pandai's establishment. It's a little larger than someone's home. The hut itself is not above ground, it's like it's on the ground, and you can smell iron and heat from a little bit away. But Manalo especially, you know what iron smells like. You know what things that smell like iron smell like. This smells like iron as you get in front of this establishment.
Like iron, meaning something that courses through veins that potentially smells like iron?
You smell blood.
Yeah. We get to the hut, and almost like a rigid statue, he just stops. And you see him like kind of his head kind of tilts up and he focuses in on the door. Something's wrong.
Could I get everyone's passive perception checks?
17.
16.
16? 13? 12. All right, so Pilar and Manalo, you don't hear the clanging of metal, but you do hear a soft thudding sound.
Would I also, being pretty intimately familiar with hunting, know that there's the smell of blood in the air?
Not this far away.
Okay.
And how far are we again?
You're about 15 feet away from the door, from the cloth opening.
Yeah, I look. My head goes over to Pilar. Stay right here, and I rush in.
You rush in. You rush in, Manalo, and you sense all the accoutrements of an ironsmith's workspace. There's raw materials. There's the forge. There's the tools needed to mold it into different forms, hammers and tongs. You see different finished materials off to the side. You see a few little projects here and there. You see a few trinkets like jewelry. You also sense a Carabao tiefling, massive and well built from probably years, a lifetime at the forge. On the ground, being held up by his vest.
I did not listen to Manalo, by the way, because fuck that, heck that. He probably got 10 feet in front of me, and I was like, no, and I'm probably like 10 feet behind him.
Then you'll see this as well. This Carabao is being held up by his vest. You see a knife in his chest. He's still breathing, but it's slow. And holding him upright is someone whose face is obscured. There's a mask on their face.
Excuse me. What are you doing?
They pause, and you realize, Pilar, looking at them, they were punching this Pandai. They let go of the vest and look over at you and stand full erect. And their mask, well, they've got a vest on and they've got pantaloons on, trousers. They look mobile. And on their face is this wooden mask that bears the visage of a serpent.
Do I recognize this?
No.
All right, so she pulls her crease, which was on her side, and she's like, explain yourself.
This person looks at you, looks at Manalo, looks at Benoy, grabs the dagger and yanks it out, and just calmly says, no. And you see him jump out a back window.
I rushed after him.
And that is where we're going to take a break.
Why? God, every time.
All right, we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break, everybody. I hope you're entertained. Don't forget to put in the code, and we'll see you in 10 minutes. Bye.
By Hit Point Press and their Big Bads Booklet series. The Big Bads Booklet is a monthly zine by Hit Point Press about boss monsters for 5th edition. This month, meet Exacia, a thorn witch who uses her hypnotizing scent to lure prey. Can you escape Exacia's 8-legged clutches, or will you find yourself in a thorny situation? Subscribe today at bigbads.com. And to check out more products, visit hitpointpress.com.
Hey everybody, what's up?
Sorry, this is was that like and this is Lagaya. She can hit stuff too with passion.
Great, that's wonderful to hear.
We have one episode left, Paladin. You can kill my character. I fear no god.
Can you move a carabao?
No.
Roll 2 ones.
Wait! No! Hey! Oh, wait, hold on. Well, I'm gonna get to you.
Elrock, we are asking around to find the Datu. Would you be willing to assist us in this?
What?
I will pick up one end of the mast.
And I'll get the other.
Yeah, I gotta keep the cage though. And he just kind of dumps like 5 or 6 crabs onto the deck of your ship.
Good. I'll use the blood tent. I'm just gonna hold them.
Disappointed dad vibes. No.
Absolutely.
Ever since that hunt weeks ago, you can breathe easy. You've done good. You've saved many. The world continues on, and your stories continue elsewhere. And that is what we'll call it for the year.
Hi, everybody. We're back along with Tampo, episode 1, season 2. We're going to right back into it. Everybody's rolled initiative. And let's first off, NPC's turn. Manalo, it is now your turn. What do you do?
Yeah. So feeling that this entity that decided to not listen to Pilar has obviously did something wrong and tried to run, I'm going to immediately. How far did they get?
As far as you can tell, I jumped out the window. There's a cloth covering, so you can't just sense out of it because there's.
Of course, yeah. I'm going to, because I can tell that there's air coming from that area. I'm going to rush to that and kind of vault through that.
As you vault through, you feel you sense just this overwhelming presence of salt water and what smells like eel and snake. Just that very weird gamey combination of scents. As you feel a fist just strike towards you. What is your AC?
15.
15. You feel this fist hit the side of your head, dealing 14 psychic damage.
14?
14 psychic damage.
Good to know.
As you get a sense, as you poke your head outside, your senses feel 2 beings. One to the left of you that isn't all there, and the other one is now on the roof and running across. Gaita and I, you see someone climb onto the roof and jump down out the front. Manalo, what do you do with the rest of your turn?
So there's 2 people. There's one outside who just hit me, and then there's one who's running.
Yeah, you get a good sense of both of them. They look the same.
But it looked the same to me. Because they don't look like anything.
Sorry, they feel the same.
No worries. Regardless, feeling that, I will... How much movement did it take for me to get outside the house?
Out the back?
Yeah.
Took you 10.
Cool. Yeah, I will take my I will take the dagger that's on my side and just stab it into the side of this individual who's next to me.
Okay.
That's my
Please roll
action. Natural one.
As you go to stab it, stab the person, they move to the side and also just slap your hand down and making you stab just the air.
Great. But that's okay. I'm going to, as I miss, I'm going to use that momentum to keep moving, using my bonus action to disengage, not dash, disengage, and keep moving towards that individual. And as I do that, he would see the veins all over my arms and face begin to just glow as I need the person running to make a wisdom saving throw.
Now, of note, he went onto the roof and jumped down to get onto it to get effect on him.
The wording does not say you have to see this creature.
Ooh, that's spicy. All right, what's a save?
Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw.
Hey, I am with the two people who wrote this. It does not say, it says within 30 feet. It does not say you would see within 30 feet.
That's totally fine. I rolled 6.
Great, no, definitely failed. They are going to, as the veins begin to flare, they will feel a sense of urgency and chaos within their head as they take 11 points of psychic damage.
11?
11.
You see as you feel your anathema affect this person within your range. This person next to you also just flinches as if they also felt pain.
Good to know. I will continue to run after that person. I don't recognize a correlation with that. You said the same, but they can be like they're twins or something. You don't know.
That's fair.
He's continuing to move.
So you go onto the roof?
I attempt to, yeah.
Yeah. Easily done. There's a lot of handholds with the straw here. You're able to climb onto the roof and get down just a little bit. You're still on the roof, but you're at the very edge of it near the front.
Sounds good.
All right. That brings us to Pilar. You've got a real messed up care about tiefling on the ground. Benoit looks heavily injured. He is unconscious. He's breathing, but it's ragged. And you see that person from before running across the field in front of the workshop. What do you do?
Yeah. Well, I feel Manalo has things pretty well in hand. At least for now, I could at least hear the sounds of combat outside. So I'm going to move to Benoit and immediately cast Cure Wounds.
Okay. What does that look like?
It looks like there's a little bit of druidry in this as well. So like you watch as I place my hands over the injury, and like the vines in my hair begin to kind of like twist and tangle further into my hair, almost like snakes. And there is this kind of like, earthy sort of glow that forms in my hands, and it's almost like moss covering the wound that browns and falls off.
All right. You see his wound close up and his breathing resume the normal pattern. He's still unconscious. He's going to need a lot more healing to get back to full, but
he's got 9 hit points.
Mm-hmm. What do you do with the rest of your turn?
With my how much movement did it take me to get to him?
I want to say none.
None. Okay. Then I will move outside and see if I can see the person who did this.
You walk outside and you see Gaita and Pilar, you see this person about 20 feet away from the workshop already. They move fast.
Okay. I'm gonna swap the crease for the swim pit and just be ready on my next turn to fire.
All right. You see, as for a moment, you see them start to glow. Now that person down below disappears. They're just gone.
Yeah, I definitely feel that.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, Gaita, Da'ai, and Pilar, you see as that person's running away, running towards you is this ephemeral, viciously teal and black, spectral version of it running towards you.
Teal and black, you said?
Teal and black. And as they get close, Pilar, they get close and try and grab at your sumpit.
How dare.
Wait, so what? They did what? The person disappeared and did what?
The person down below near you disappeared.
Uh-huh.
From the person that was running, a version of him that looks kind of spectral, kind of ghost-like, ran out of his back. And so while he's running away still, that person that just showed up from his back ran towards Pilar and is trying to disarm her.
Rude.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Pilar, can you roll me a dexterity saving throw?
Dex save. 15.
15. You're able to resist him just yanking the sumpit out of your hands. But as he fails to pull back, he lets go and takes a step back and looks to be in a ready to fight position.
Not out of my attack range, though, right?
Not out of your attack range, no.
Okay.
That brings us to Dai. Your turn.
Okay, so we can see the one that's running away, and we can also see the spectral one that's come back and is now kind of
Fighting
harrying
you.
Pilar.
Yep.
But they're not actually in melee range with me, are they?
No.
Oh, okay, all right. Yes, very good. How far away is the one that's running?
20 feet away from you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Excellent. Very good. Okay. Phenomenal. I love this. Let me just read this very quickly. Yes, very good. I would like to just look up at Hari very quickly and say, would you mind taking care of that and kind of point, and through him we'll cast Moonbeam directly on and in front of the one that's running away. It's got a casting range of 120 feet, 5-foot radius, pillar of moonlight comes out of nowhere, and at the start of their turn, they will need to make a saving throw.
Okay. Noted. Noted. All right. Is it your turn?
I think so for now. Do I need to say that I'm using a spirit die to add to the DC at this point, or can I do that when they roll the saving throw?
When they roll the saving throw.
Okay, great, good. In that case, that is my turn.
Okay. That brings us over to Gaita. Gaita, what do you do?
Okay, so the person who is 20 foot away, who is like not spectral in form, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Are they still up on the roof, or
No, they're running. They're far away from y'all right now. They're trying to run away.
but they're 20 feet out from me?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm gonna get up in their business. I'm gonna run up. I'm gonna enter a rage.
What does that look like?
So seeing that stuff is going down, Gaita pulls the big panabas from her back, and you can see her kind of like run over, and at once just kind of like planted in front of whoever this person is. She takes the end of it and kind of like taps it to the end of the ground, and this like almost like black cloud kind of just like what's the word, like smokes over her, and it's
Sure.
It's more it's not like a shouting rage, but more of like a quiet rage.
The worst kind.
Yeah. And she's going to just try and hit this guy.
Like when you go home and you know you messed up, but your mom's at the kitchen table waiting for you.
Yeah, it's that I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. That is a 19 to hit.
19 to hit hits.
Okay. So it is a D10 plus.
She's made dinner and she's gonna let you eat before she tears into you.
That.
It is an 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. All right.
And then I think, let me see, I have the ability. So when I successfully hit him, I'm gonna go ahead and ask, or I'm gonna make him make a wisdom saving throw.
I know what's happening. I wrote the subclass. I don't like what's going to happen if I fail.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I rolled a 1.
Awesome. So they lose sight of anything beyond 30 feet of themselves. And it also affects like other methods of awareness, including tremor sense or blind sight. It's still aware of where I am, but every time I make a successful attack against them, I regain some hit points.
All right. Cool. Is it the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
All right. So here's the thing. Its other form can't see past 30 feet of itself, of the form you hit. So Pilar, you see that form in front of you just dissipate.
Interesting.
What is the DC against Moonbeam?
Let's add 2. Yeah, what the heck? We'll add 2 spirit dice to that. So let me roll them very quickly. Ooh, that's very good.
Ooh, we love that. We love that one.
That is a DC of 20, please and thank you.
We love that one.
A DC of 20. All right. Let's go. That was a 19.
Nope.
How much damage?
Yes, I do need to roll damage, do I not?
We love to see it.
That is 11 points of radiant damage.
11 points of radiant damage. Okay. You see as you see this person get enveloped by Moonbeam and get hit by you, they're looking beyond aggravated. You hear a little bit of growling underneath the mask. And you see as he tries to kick you.
Okay.
How dare you?
What is your AC?
13.
Hit. Miss. Can you make me a dexterity saving throw?
Would this activate my danger sense?
Your danger sense. Let me check. I don't believe so, but I could be wrong because I am only human.
Okay.
As a barbarian, anything they can see, if they had to make a dex save, they could do it with advantage.
Okay. Thank you.
So with advantage?
Yep, so you get advantage on this.
Okay, so that is a 19.
19. You are not knocked to the ground prone.
Cool.
However, they do start to run through the Moonbeam.
Did I take damage for that other hit that they made?
Yes, please let me roll damage on that. Please, God, I'm so sorry, sort of. Please take 11 points of damage.
11. What kind of damage?
Psychic. No, sorry.
Okay.
Bludgeoning this time, not psychic.
Bludgeoning. So
Yep.
I take half.
As this man just kicks you right in the knee.
Do you round up or down?
I round down typically.
Okay. Cool.
And that is going to bring us to Manalo.
So where is this individual from me?
From you, they're a good 60 feet away. You can hear everything going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will just continue running towards the direction I was going, which makes sense. So I'm going to use my full 30 feet of movement to get towards there.
Okay.
And once I can kind of feel them within my range again, the veins on my arms begin to glow. When I glow, it kind of gets pulse. And that pulsing goes all the way down, extended to my fingertips, and it coalesces into a black beam that I toss at him as I cast Eldritch Blast.
All right. Okay.
Heck
okay.
yes.
Please roll to hit.
That is a 23 to hit.
23 hits.
That's going to be... Oh, good. Try that again. Okay, 10 points of force damage.
10 points of force damage. All right.
And as I throw it, I just continue to move towards as I dash towards him. And again, once I dash, I'm going to need him to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. That is going to be a 14.
That meets, so it beats. It takes half.
Now comes the unfortunate news.
Is he immune to psychic damage?
He's not immune to psychic damage. That's not what I'm worried about. As you cast your Eldritch Blast, let me roll a number real quick.
Don't like that.
Right. We don't like numbers in this game of numbers.
Ah, yes, the numbers game. How dare I? You know what it sounds like when Eldritch Blast hits something. You know what it sounds like when someone gets hurt. You know what flesh sounds like at a distance. You hear none of that. You don't hear the sound of someone cursing. You don't hear the sound of someone yelling in pain. However, Gaita, you see this person, as Manala fires off Eldritch Blast, turn around and catch it. And divert it right into the air.
Okay.
Oh, that's sick. I hate it.
Okay, cool, great. So I picture that. I don't hear that he got hit, but I definitely heard the magic coalesce and go somewhere else.
You definitely smell ozone, which means that it hit air a lot.
Yeah, cool. That's fun. And as I'm running, I just you will see his head just kind of cock, but he's still going towards the individual using another 30 feet. And that was 9 halved 4, which is rounded down, 4 points of psychic damage.
4 points of psychic damage? Cool. I just saw chat real quick. Everybody's going, no.
Shout out to the best. I mean, we got Hottie now, but shout out Bayani, we love.
Is it the end of your turn, Manalo?
That was my action, movement, and bonus action. Yes, it is. Oh, wait, action surge. I'm kidding. I don't know.
Manalo, you sense something rushing towards you. You sense that same smell of fish and snake and blood running up at you, and reach for your face.
Don't be reaching towards me.
What is your AC?
15. I said this already.
Can you please make me a dexterity saving throw?
No. That is actually really good. That is a 22.
A 22? All right. This person runs up to you and puts their entire body into pushing your head back with the intent of slamming you into the ground. And instead they just hit you real hard in the forehead and roll behind you. Please take 7 points of damage.
All right.
Gaita, Da'ai, and Pilar, you see again this black and teal spectral form next to Manalo.
Okay.
That brings us to Pilar.
The bang.
Yeah, neat. Look at that. So I'm going to let's see, where do I want to be? I want to put some space between us all. So I'm going to kind of like strafe, but still I'm still within range to fire my Sumpit. So I'm going to like strafe away from everybody.
Okay.
And fire my Sumpit. and like you see the boar tusk on the end of the sumpit kind of like shine a bit, as I have marked this person as my favorite foe because I don't like him. And I launch a dart at him through my sumpit.
All right. Now, for everybody at home, you might be thinking, dart? Isn't that like less than an inch long? Yes, if you're from like not the Philippines.
This is like a foot long arrow.
Fire from a sumpit, which is just a blowgun spear. A sumpit deals 1d8 piercing damage, plus whatever bonuses you might apply. They're vicious to look at, let alone be hit by. Speaking of...
Yeah, and speaking of vicious, that was a natural 20. So
we're going to follow D4 rules, which appears on Sunday. So max on the die once and then just roll again.
Okay, so that's max on both die. So that we're starting with 12. And then that's 12, 23, 26.
26 damage.
Yeah, 26 piercing damage.
Are you shooting the spectral form or the body?
The body.
The body? All right. Let me just do quick maths.
Yeah, let's do math.
You fire off your sumpit and you see that it goes across this little sort of hill, goes through the spectral form and goes through the body.
Yes.
And the person collapses on the ground. The spectral form dissipates.
Since I have an extra 15 feet of movement question.
Yes.
Would you consider the attempt to disarm me an attack?
Yes, it was definitely an attack.
All right, so then yes, because I have an extra 15 feet of movement from my striker's march, I will use the rest of my movement to get to the body.
Okay, you are up at the body. They are on the ground. They appear dead.
Oh.
Would I also be there because I technically moved 60 feet?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah.
I might be like 5 feet away from it, but yeah.
Okay. First thing, I'm gonna tow the body to make sure it's dead. Then I'm gonna.
You're going to tow?
Mask. I'm gonna kick him.
Okay, yeah.
With my foot.
You kick him. There's nothing.
I pull the mask.
As you go to grab towards the mask, you see the mask flare up.
I die.
And disappear.
Gasp.
The person on the ground in front of you has no facial features.
Like, just a stretch of skin?
Yes.
Cool. That's exactly her reaction. She goes down to pull the mask, and as it disappears, it's like her hand pulls back maybe like 6 inches, and it's like, that. Don't like that. Don't like that at all.
The mask is gone.
What
gone.
Don't you like?
God damn it, Max, shush. This person has no face.
Well, they were going to have no face one way or the other. As I cast another Eldritch Blast at their face, to just confirm that they're dead.
You just completely incinerate away the head and skull. There's just a charred tissue on the neck.
And then, like, once I kind of come to myself, I turn to Dai and Gaeta. Are you okay?
I'm all right, and I'll kind of gesture in the air, and the moonbeam will re-solidify into Hari, who will kind of fly back towards me.
That was cool. That was real cool.
That's safety.
That's Latia saying that. That was really cool.
What happened in there?
She doesn't say anything. I run back in to check on Benoit.
I feel that Pilar has left, and standing with the eye and Gaita, there's like a level of hesitance, and then he just runs back into.
Is everything all right?
I don't know. I don't. The man with no face stabbed Benoit, and now the man with no face is dead, and Benoit is not. What? I have not even been home a day.
I definitely run straight to Benoit. Just tracing my steps, heading back, and once I get inside, Benoit, are you all right?
You hear some steadier breathing. It's no longer belabored, it's no longer ragged. It's steady, it's slow, but there's no response other than just the breathing of someone who is still unconscious. Gaita and Da'ai, what do you two do?
So other than the mask, was there any other like identifying like clothing or like specific make of fabric that I can ascertain from his person?
Sure. So you've been around for a while, so you can kind of recognize different dyes and inks and cloths. They're wearing a vest, just kind of loosely fitted. It's dyed with purple, which is typically from Nasi Rakna or from Tulunan, depending on where the trade routes are going this time of year. He's wearing very plain trousers. But as you look over his body, you can find the following should you wish to take it. You find 35 gold.
Okay.
You find that dagger that while you wouldn't recognize it, Manalo and Pilar recognize it from being inside of Benoit as being a +1 dagger.
Okay.
You don't find anything else on him though.
Okay. I'll go ahead and pick up both of them, and then I'll probably head inside as well.
Okay.
Would you just help me pull him off of the street? Maybe just to the side of the building before you go in. That's all right.
I'm gonna ask the old lady to move things. Sure.
Well, you are much stronger than I am, but I will help.
I suppose so.
As you go to move the body, Hari flies off your shoulder and lands on the body.
Yes, Hari. What is it? Okay, all right.
It seems like Hari is trying to help.
Oh, good. Yes, all right, good. Great. And I'll grab like one of his arms and hopefully we'll pull him.
All right, now lift, Hari.
Wait.
Lift. No, pull.
But Gaita and Da'ai, you pull the body away from just kind of public eye, pulling it back quite a ways so that any random walker by just can't see just a straight up dead body. Manala and Pilar, what are you two doing?
Yeah, I'm definitely standing at this point, kneeling next to Benoit, just seeing. I mean, thank goodness they are stable, but just seeing what he can do. Just trying to figure out if there's any cloth around, anything like that, just to like stabilize the wound, things of that nature.
Nothing really nearby to staunch the wound. It's already sealed up thanks to what looks to be magic. You can tell, you can sense by like how there's just no scar tissue. There's no more blood looking at the blood smell trying to dissipate. You can know something was rushed, and it's usually magic.
Okay.
Manalo, would you stay with him? I'm gonna search the room. Like, does it look like anything was taken or anything is out of place, aside from anything that may have been kind of like knocked around in any potential struggle?
For some reason, despite how messed up Benoit looks, everything here seems perfectly fine.
Okay.
Everything here seems like it's in its place. Everything here seems in perfect order.
Okay, so they weren't after anything he's made or done. They were after him.
And they have failed in their attempt. The question is, why him?
I imagine we can ask him that when he wakes up.
I was sent. Well, I was told when I was on Pahinga that this Benoy would be useful. Well, could help me. Hopefully, I am not a burden. But we will find out what has happened when he wakes up.
Thank you for your assistance, by the way. I mean, I know he is someone who can help you, but it's never an obligation to help anybody, and that was just really good of you.
Well, I would not be... He stops. I do not see why I would let someone get away when they have disrespected someone in their own home. I am glad that you were here to help, though. You and I don't know their names.
Gaita and Dai, who, as they are brought back to my attention, I don't run this time, but I go back outside to see what they're doing.
Gaita and I, how far along do you bring the body back? Do you bring it all the way back to the workshop?
Just out of line of sight, and then I request that we put it down, and I'm going to just take a couple of moments and try to look at them, see if I can learn anything. I know a little bit about medicine, and would like to just inspect the body. Obviously, the cause of death is pretty apparent, but perhaps I could learn more.
Sure. Please roll me a medicine check.
Gladly.
While Dai does that, I know Babylon Dalasai is very busy, but I'm gonna run to Babylon Dalasai.
You don't know where she would be.
I don't care. I'm running to the center of town. Okay. Like that thought occurs to me on the way, so I will ask somebody where she might be.
All right. And you sprint off. You are looking for Dalasai. Just how do you go about trying to look for her?
I'm looking for either her or the Datu. So whomever I run into first, who looks like they're not particularly busy. I know that that's not really a thing before a festival, but I approach someone and I'm like, have you seen either the Datu or the Babylon?
Can you roll me a persuasion check?
Of course I can. It's a 2, which means it's a 9.
A 9. Okay. You ask around and people more or less respond to the, oh, Pilar, how long you're back? How long have you been in town?
I'm fine. The Datu or the Babylon, please.
Oh, you know they're busy.
It's important.
What they're doing is very important. You can figure out what you need by yourself.
Benoy is almost dead.
But he's so big.
And yet.
Who'd want to hurt Benoy, huh?
I don't know. That's why I'm looking for the Datu or the Babylon.
Do you think they hurt him?
No.
Then why are you looking for them? They're busy.
I'm done talking to you. And I go find somebody else.
You ever talk to someone who's like could help you but just abstractly doesn't for some reason?
Yeah, that's what a 9 gets me.
You're welcome. You continue looking around town. Gaita and you're back at the workshop with Manalo and Benoy.
Really quick before we leave the body, does it have any ears or hair?
The head's gone.
Did it have ears or hair?
It did have ears and hair, yes.
Okay. What kind of ears?
It looked like it was supposed to be a spike, but kind of just carved over.
Okay.
The hair was long going down the back a little bit, but it's all gone now.
Okay. All right, that was it. That was all I wanted to ascertain really quick.
Sure thing.
I did get a natural 1 on my medicine check, so presumably I don't learn much.
It's a body.
Well, I must be rusty.
Can you roll me a religion check?
Of course. 18.
18? Something's off about the body itself.
Well, yes, it doesn't.
People are made of multiple things more than just muscle. Made of bone and organs. There's room for a soul. It feels like on some level it was only made. This body was made to house a soul and nothing else.
So it didn't have like muscle and bones.
I mean, it has muscle, but there's not much.
And bones?
They aren't really connected to anything.
Interesting. I will remember this.
I will remember this.
The Black River will have them now.
Manalo's still leaning over the body, just making sure nothing else comes around. And as he senses the eye and Gaita,
Pilar has traveled to find the Babailon of this place.
I don't know why I'm a Babailon. What do we need?
Well, you're not the Babailon of this place.
Do we require official services or a healer?
I assume knowledge of this place and who might want to hurt Benoy.
In that case, never mind. I cannot help. If someone was injured, perhaps, but nothing else.
Yeah, he has been healed. His magic was involved. That's all I know.
Looking at the body at a glance, you can tell that it's been healed, not all the way though. It looks to be the person still looks beaten up.
Well, perhaps I could assist with that. Let's go ahead and let's just put a little cure wounds there. I think that'll help. Yeah, not amazing, but 6 additional hit points.
What does that look like?
I think as I kind of kneel down, do like the old man, use something nearby to like lower myself down onto one knee. I'll kind of call over for Hari and place a hand on his chest, and then have Hari kind of land on my hand, and there will be this kind of healing magic that will emanate through Hari, kind of like a light bulb, like glowing brighter for a moment as it'll pass through me into him.
Okay. The light enters into Benoy, and you see him sputter and gasp as you feel different tissues and different muscles start to reconnect and just finish out healing a lot of what's already been done to Benoy. And you hear him go and just look around at you, at Manalo, and just around at his shop.
Young man, are you well?
What is he?
Dead for the time being.
Pilar,
What up?
could I get another persuasion check as you try and look for the Datu or
Sure.
for the Bylon?
Sure. That's much better. It's a 26.
You ask around and you find some old neighbors, and they point to you. Oh, hi, no, Delasai's at the docks.
Okay. And what about Datu? What about Makli'ing?
He's busy with some people making a fuss over near the river.
Okay, that sounds more important. I will go find Delasai.
Okay, bye.
Hi, yeah, it's very good to see you. I'm happy to be home, but this is very urgent. I'll talk later. Bye.
Okay, bye. My mom's coming back soon. If you want to see her.
Absolutely. She makes wonderful soup.
How would you know that? She hasn't been here in a while.
I've had her soup before. Shush.
No, you haven't. She doesn't live here.
Well, then it must be some other person's mother I'm remembering. I'm sorry, my memory is a little scrambled right now because of what just happened. I have to find the Bylon. I'm sorry. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Oh, okay. Bye.
Bye.
And you head towards the docks?
Yeah.
You head over to the docks and you see people crowding around, just looking out onto the waters and catching a peek. You see Abila and Dalasai out on the water. What looks to be a very large, pale snake is just underneath her feet, holding her. It looks to be like it's holding her just above the surface. And you see her just chanting, going in the middle of a rite, blessing over a seaside shrine, where you see just a bunch of different incense piles burning away.
I wait.
You know from experience, she's going to be here for the next 7 to 8 hours.
God damn it. Then to the river I go to find the Datu.
All right, back over at the workshop. Benoit is up. What do you mean dead for the time being?
Well, they are dead, but I don't know if that could change. I don't know. A bit odd. Didn't have a face. Now doesn't have a head. I imagine they won't be back very soon.
Okay.
Are you okay now? What happened? And I'm going to try to help them up.
You help him up, and he's matching and now just a little above your height. He's a massive existence. I'm
already horny. Kidding.
Amen. All right. Let me turn my notes there. Thanks, CB.
You're very welcome.
Okay. All right. He looks around. Did you get my anchors back?
We have not had a chance to do anything. We saw the individual was here, and they were chased out, and with the help of some others, they have been destroyed.
There were 4 of them.
There was one.
There were 4 of them here. 3 of them took my anchors, and the last one was asking me where the Datu was. before the three of them ran off after getting impatient.
We did not. We could only tell that one was here at the time holding you. We will find the others.
Okay.
Did you tell him where he was? Or they were?
No, I didn't. So he stabbed me. The three of them took weapons too. He sits back down, clearly just exhausted still.
And I'll help them down. And I'll just say,
This is the wrong time, probably, but I am Manalo. Ulan told me to come see you.
Oh, you're the person with the vest, right?
with the vest?
You know, the armor with the stuff inside.
I have clothing and armor on, yes.
Yeah, you won't need to try and identify what's making up your armor.
He sent me across the islands to figure out what is happening with my armor.
I thought it was weird too, but you know.
Have I ever noticed that something was off about my armor? Is this...
You know that your studded armor doesn't have iron studs. It has something that looks metallic and feels metallic, but isn't iron.
Do you need it now? Or is this...
I'm not going anywhere. I can look at your armor after you catch the other three.
He's kind of confused, so he just kind of shuts off. He just, he's literally going to repeat that for a little bit.
Let's go and find the others. Why don't we?
Did they say where they were going?
No. They took my anchors and then they left after I didn't tell them anything.
Anchors for boats?
For ships. I was making some for some war vessels.
Who were you making them for originally?
I was making some for some warriors who sail around to Lunan.
All right, dear. You should rest.
Okay.
So you are not... I was not sent here to learn. I was sent here to figure out my armor.
It seemed important to him.
We should find Pilar.
Yes. Wasn't she going to find the Datu and the Babylon?
If she is off to find the Datu, the others may have attempted to find the Datu as well.
Possibly.
They may need help.
Which way did Pilar go?
They went that way. I point.
Oh, yes, that way. Let's go that way then. Now, hurry, would you scout ahead and let me know when you find them?
Hurry kind of just glides up and glides out. And about 20 feet away, remembers to flap its wings.
Oh, very good, very good. I will follow Hari.
Okay. I'm gonna make some checks for Hardy.
Good.
All right. Pilar.
Yep.
You know what the direction of the river near Agusan.
Mm-hmm.
You know the location of the Ikot River. And you start heading through some of the densest forest, heading there. It slows you down considerably, even with your knowledge of the terrain. It's just a lot to get through. To Gaisa and Manalo, you go across the hill. You try and cut through the town, as you just see Hari just making a bird line across the town, and just looking around, darting here to and forth and back and forwards and sideways, until it starts heading into the forest. Heading into the forest, you manage to catch up with Pilar.
And as we arrive, you didn't see anyone else, did you? Back in Benoit's hut.
No.
Were there any traces of footsteps or anything that seemed amiss, like more than one person was there?
I didn't look.
Oh.
Or at least I didn't notice.
I believe, according to Benoit, there was 4 individuals. Only one was present.
Yeah, did I remember seeing any footprints with my check to make sure everything was in the place?
No, you did not.
Cool. Yeah, I may have been a little distracted at the time. But you said, Benoit said there were 4 people?
There was 4. 3 took things from them. Inkers mentioned looking for the Datu. You said you were looking for the Datu, or looking for the Babylon, who would know where the Datu is. Therefore, it was a good decision to find you.
Yeah. They said, who did I... Like, do I know the name of the person who told me where the Datu and the Babylon were?
You remember where they are?
No, the name of the person.
Roll me a wisdom to recall the name of your neighbors.
You
went around a lot.
A wisdom, you say?
Yeah, just how rude are you?
Yeah, absolutely. One track mind, Pilar. 17.
A 17. You know that your neighbors are Poitog and Raya.
Can you spell those for everyone?
Sure thing.
And which of them was the one to inform me of the locations of the people I was searching for?
That was Raya.
Oh. Like, you see Pilar stop and kind of like walk, like she doesn't really stop, she slows down and she starts walking things back in her head. Right. Raya told me where I could find the Datu and the Babylon.
Oh.
Good. Then we should go. Does not note the eye's reaction.
Sorry, I messed up names, I believe. It would have been Poitog talking about the mom.
Yep.
Okay.
My mistake there, y'all. Sorry.
So then, yes, Poitog told me that where the Datu and the Babaylan were.
Was he handsome?
Yes, I think he's married.
Well, I'm aware. That's possibly was my son. Unless there are more than one Poitog on the island.
No, he's right. I've never had your soup.
Not yet.
Oh,
I do not understand where these O's are coming from.
I'm sorry.
Have we found out more information about the Datu?
No, and let's walk and talk. So you're Poitog's mother.
That's my son, yes.
Oh. He's very nice. I mean, he's married, but he's very nice.
Are you married?
Why is it always me?
Because you play the prettiest characters.
You see, I turned bright red. No. No.
Oh. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. You don't have another son, do you?
No, I have a daughter.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, technically.
Technically?
I have 2 children, Di.
Fine. So long as you're not counting mine.
I always count her, but not in this situation.
Fine.
Our kids are married.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yes, sorry.
Is this information pertinent to finding the Datu?
Well, we're walking very quickly. I'm having a hard time keeping up with my short legs.
I'm so sorry, Di. Manolo, this is information that may help us later. I don't know how, but it may.
Oh, okay. All right. Fine. Carry on.
We keep walking.
Manalo just got stuck between family business and he just doesn't understand why.
Before we get there, when we were in the fight, could I have ascertained who would be more inclined towards a dagger that I have?
Show of hands physically, who has a dagger? Who uses daggers?
Okay, I just wanted to check.
I could, but I don't have a use for one.
So you see Manalo has a dagger already.
Okay.
There's a dagger on his side that he's already resheathed.
Okay. While we're walking, I'll sort of catch up to him, and I grabbed this off of the person, and I don't have any use for it. Would you like it?
I do not know what it is. What could it be?
I take it out and I hand it over.
And as I hold it, I realize that it's a light dagger. Is it useful? Might have one already. So I guess having extras would not be a bad thing.
Manalo, you know one of the core tenets of just this world is that everything has a spirit, and the stronger a thing is, the longer lived a thing is, the more powerful a thing is, the more powerful its adjoining spirit.
Mm-hmm.
As you hold on to this dagger, you hear this almost not like sinister chuckle, but just something as you hold on to it. It feels light in your hand. It feels free in your hand.
I believe it has taken a liking to me. I will hold on to it. Thank you. That was very kind of you.
You seem like you would get more use of it than I.
I will immediately throw it at a tree just to see how it sticks.
You throw it casually at a tree, and it goes a good 2 inches into it.
And I'll walk over towards that tree, and I'll take it. Yes, this will suffice. Thank you. And I don't have a sheath for it right now, so I'll just hold on to it.
You
walking around with a dagger, what's good?
You would have gotten a sheath from Gaita as well, because the man had a sheath for the dagger as well. But I do love the picture of just one dragonborn going, I need a sheath. Please, I need a sheath.
Holding it blade down, just anybody get a sheath?
Please, sir, I have this knife.
Look, blade down, blade up. Neither one's a good picture, honestly. Both is gonna incriminate you, because you're just walking around with a knife.
It's a knife.
You progress further and further into the forest. When you come towards finally the Pa-Ikot River. It is
one more again.
Pa-Ikot. I will type it out for you.
Hallelujah.
And for those at home, I'll put it in chat.
Thank you so much.
For the record, Webcaster is going to have a fun time with all of these words that are not in English at all times. Pa-Ikot becomes Patikati. Dai becomes die. As you will.
It's not foreshadowing, I promise.
Oof, God, I hope so.
Paladin.
I hope it's not foreshadowing. What was wrong there?
Anyway, tell us about the Pa-Ikot River.
During the rainy season, this riverside is flooded. But in calmer times like now, they're starting to use up the different fields here for different rice, luya, siling labuyo. And you can see all kinds of fish and crabs in the river itself. It's this massive, wide river coming straight down from the mountains itself.
Like how we all had to do it. You're welcome.
Yeah, no, it's in the contract. And you start going, and as you get to the river, you hear shouting. You hear just loud shouting, headed upstream. All of you hear it.
Does it sound like argumentative shouting? Does it sound like beat his ass shouting? What type of shouting is it?
It sounds like just guttural screaming and shouting, and every now and then you hear the sound of metal on metal.
Oh, well then I pull my swim pit out. Let's go.
I look down at, my head tilts down towards the dagger in my hand.
I guess I do not need a sheath.
Not today.
What do you all do?
I walk upstream.
I imagine we're moving about as fast as I can move.
Okay.
All right.
So full of questions.
He doesn't know how to calculate how fast a small individual can move. Therefore, he's going to move at a speed. But right now, I think he is probably more in tune with the group now with their typical speed. So at least a little bit. So yeah, he is not walking as fast.
All right. As you're moving up the river, you eventually start the sounds of fighting become a little more clear, become a little more crisp, until eventually you see as you come up a rise up a hillside, still following the river, you see 3 people fighting. You see 2 people in masks, both at a distance you can tell are that same serpentine of just a horrid fanged maw and 3 pairs of eyes going up. out of carved wood, and fighting against the two of them is this very muscle bound, kind of lithe looking elf, broad shoulders, swinging away with 2 axes. And as you come up, you see him kick one just away and swing both axes straight across the chest of one of the 2 people attacking him. That person falls into the river and starts floating towards you. And as it floats towards you, you see the mask on its face disappear. And you see again that this person just has no facial features, while Datu Makli Ing continues to fight against the one remaining person. What do the 4 of you do?
Can you spell that name for me, please, in chat too?
Yep.
I see it. Thank you. I feel like I'm going to, if they're still fighting, yeah, he's going to naturally start heading that way, and 120 feet, which is more than enough space. He's going to throw an Eldritch Blast towards the person.
Sure thing. Please roll ahead, and then can everybody please roll me initiative?
Heck yeah.
I am going to do this at disadvantage because I'm way out of my blind sight, but I'm going to throw it towards that area where I'm hearing the noise.
That's more like it. That's more like a Cena in a roll.
Same.
Does a 13 hit?
Oh no, 13 does not hit. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Also, 11 plus. What is my? There you go. What? Yeah. Oh no.
Oh my God. All right. Cool. That's real keen, y'all.
Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. I would have said this way in advance. I didn't because we're season 1 premiere, doing a lot of things. Manalo's hurt.
So we're heading into combat still injured. Got it.
Yeah, apparently.
You see the Datu run up towards this other person and hit with both axes against their shield, and then kicks them in the chest, and the person gets pushed back about 10 feet and is now in the midst of all of you. And the Datu calls out, "Pilar! How have you been?"
Later. Fighting.
"Winning if you move fast enough."
Then she like she will at that point she will literally kind of like hold out her right arm, and she will put her simpet on her arm and be like, "Let's go."
Manalo, it's your turn. There's a person literally 10 feet away from you with a sword, a crease, and a shield. What are you doing?
Okay. Okay. Yes. I will. And Datu's next to him?
10 feet. They're like 10 feet away.
10 feet away.
But Datu and the person are next to each other.
No. Datu kicked the person towards you. So the person is 10 feet away. The Datu is 10 feet away past that.
Gotcha. I thought, okay, he pushed him off and they split up. That's what I needed to know. Thank you.
No worries.
Cool. Great. Amazing. I will move to my left, and there is a small little, not really small, more like medium-sized long tube that I put something in, and as I use my blowgun towards this individual. That is a 22 to hit.
22 hits. Let me check one thing real fast, though. I don't know what you mean. Why won't you trust it?
Because it's you.
Because everything's terrible.
What'd you say you got it hit?
22.
Yeah, that's wouldn't help. So you do hit.
Okay. I still don't trust whatever that even means.
I don't know what you mean, man.
8 points of, I believe, piercing damage.
Yep, piercing. All right, cool.
Yep.
8 piercing damage. That brings us. Anything else for your turn?
Excuse. Yes, sir. I immediately disengage backwards as I use that blowgun. I just kind of wince in pain. So I'll use my bonus action to disengage, moving straight back. And as I do, they need to make a wisdom save.
That's gonna be a fail.
Great. And that will be 10 points of psychic damage.
How much? Sorry?
10.
10. All right. You see him you see this person kind of buckle down and have to slam their shield down on the ground to keep upright as they just howl in pain. But this brings us over to, if your turn's over.
Yes, and I've ran 30 feet back.
Yep. So you're far back. That brings us to Pilar.
Hey, it's me. Yeah, no, it's, how about a giant dart to the face, maybe? That sounds like a good idea.
This person's life just, fighting, all of a sudden 2 darts. It's fine, it's cool.
Hey, what? What up?
Oh, please roll to hit.
A 20.
20. I'm gonna try.
What if you didn't, though?
I mean, what if I did?
What if you
I don't trust this.
You see the person trying to raise up their shield in the time to try and stop the dart, but it winds up just missing it. And from behind a shield, you hear, "Oh!" As the shield goes back down, you see a dart just embedded in them.
Neat.
Please roll damage.
Excellent. You need to learn to be faster. How about that? Max damage, 11 points piercing damage.
11 points? Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And this brings us to Ai and Gaita. Who goes first?
What's your dex modifier?
2.
Yeah, you're faster than me.
Okay. How does this person that he's fighting look like they've been in it for a while and he's gotten hurt already?
Yeah, they look pretty ragged already.
Okay, I'm just gonna I'm gonna attempt to hit. I'll make it a reckless attack. I won't rage yet though. So they have advantage on me their next turn if they want to hit me.
Okay. Oh God.
So that's a 20 to hit.
Please. Nope. Okay, you hit.
Okay. And that's 7 points of damage.
7 points. You swing down your blade and you just slice into them, and the weight of the blade hitting them in the back and then cutting them open sends them forward flat onto the ground. Dead.
That was much easier.
You see the Datu is just breathing hard, and you see him as he walks forward, bends down and drags his axes to the water to clean them off. And as he puts them away, he walks up to you all, and he's not anywhere near Manalo's height, but he's just a little bit taller than Pilar, and just a lot more beefier, I guess.
Horny times 2.
Understood. Looks at the 4 of you and goes, "All right. Welcome home, Pilar. You want to tell me what's going on here?" And that is where we're going to end session 1.
Damn it, I knew it. I mean, darn it. Heck. Heck, darn heck.
Oh my gosh. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for being here for episode 1 of season 2 of Tampo here at RockPunch ATL. I've been Paladin, your DM. Let's kind of throw it in reverse order. I'm going to throw it over to CB. CB, who are you? What do you do?
Apparently be horny for people. No, hi.
You're welcome.
Yes. Hi, my name is Omega Jones, also known as the Critical Bard.
I do too much, honestly. I'm an actor, vocalist, just hot mess incarnate. A couple of things that I'm doing. Tomorrow, you can catch me at 4 Pacific, which is 6 Central, 7 Eastern, for another game over on with Jasper's Game Week. Jasper's Game Week is a week-long celebration, not a celebration, but a week-long time to honor those and try to help raise money for suicide prevention. It is a organization that's near and dear to many of our hearts, and many of us have been playing throughout the week, and I'll be playing again tomorrow with Anthony Rapp, Christina Ocha, Todd Stashwick, David Blue is the DM, and many other people. So catch that over on Mini Terrain Domains Twitch channel. Also on Monday, you can catch me on Realmsmith for Into the Mist, a Curse of Strahd campaign. Currently playing Sir Godfrey Willem. And also, typically on Saturdays, you can catch me on my channel for Let's Get Wildmount, which is a Critical Role setting, Wildmount, campaign. I play almost a very similar character, actually. Oops. But we will be off this week because it is Mother's Day weekend. So make sure you say hi to your mothers and love them. Other than that, that's it. Catch me on my Twitch channel where I play Dead by Daylight and Overwatch and lots of other things. I have things I can't announce also that's coming up. That's it.
Hey.
Wildmount, yes.
I guess that brings us over to...
Oh, yeah, see, I screwed up. I'm going to pass it to you, Latia.
Golly, gee, we sure know what we're doing. Hi, everybody. Yeah. I'm Latia Jacquise at Latia Jacquise everywhere across the internet, except the places I am not. Generally, you can catch me on Sundays. Actually, in 2 weeks, you can catch me on Sundays at twitch.tv/Rivals of Waterdeep as we kick off season 10 of Rivals of Waterdeep and the road to 100 episodes. I am not in the DM's chair this time, which is probably best for everybody involved. Other than that, I am also the community relations coordinator for Monty Cook Games. I am generally everywhere spewing stream of consciousness things on Twitter. So if you want to find out anything that I am doing, you can just go to Twitter. I'm super happy to be back on Tampo, and I love you all. Lucia, it's your turn now.
Okay. I'm Lucia. You can find me everywhere as Seer Sword. My main thing is I run a TTRPG related shop, and I'm kind of branching into some witchy stuff. So right now, hopefully next week I'll be having a candle update if you're into those sorts of things. I'm also running pre-orders for enamel pins related Islands of Siena. They were designed by the lovely Other Moons Art, and they depict the 3 sky sister deities that are in the setting. They're really beautiful, and they'll have like the gold outlining. And as soon as I'm able to kind of fulfill the first part of it, I'll be able to give everybody updates on when those will come out. But it'll be soon. And yeah, otherwise, you can really find me just here every week, playing Tampo with these lovely folks. And that's kind of what I do. So yeah, I'll pass it over to Josh.
Hello, that is me. My name is Josh. I am a freelance tabletop game designer. I am a variety streamer on my own Twitch channel. Speaking of my own Twitch channel, come and hang out with us on Tuesday. Lucia and I are gonna paint some minis on stream, I think, or something. We're gonna paint something. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna hang out and chat and do art or something. I am also the assistant director of ambassadors for Jasper's Game Day. As previously mentioned, we are in the middle of Jasper's Game Week, ends on Sunday, so we've got 2 more days of fundraising, and that's where we're going to go right after this stream. Actually, we're going to go hang out with the Jasper's folks over at the Mini Terrain Domain channel. So yeah, that's what I got to plug, because I work there. And it's a really great cause, so would love to see y'all join us for that. if you want to check me out, follow me on Twitter at Joshua M. Simons. And I'll toss it to Paladin.
Hi, I'm HD Paladin, otherwise known as Paladin Online. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram under HD Paladin, but why would you find me on Instagram? I don't really do anything there. I'm a TTRPG designer. I write too much. I do graphic design too much. I did the overlay for this stuff, aside from the lovely finishing touches from our production manager. I have a Kickstarter coming out next month for a book of spells. I'm really excited for it. I'm going to throw the link right up into this chat right here. Where it's a book of spells for all kinds of game-changing stuff.
Give it to Babs and she'll do it because you can't do links.
Sir, you know Twitch etiquette by now.
No, I don't.
Ah!
No, I don't. You do because you do this a lot more than I do, CB. But I'm on Twitter a lot, and I honestly do a whole lot with making things for the TTRPG space. And thank you all for being here. It means a whole lot that you'd be here to watch us play. We're going to go raid main terrain domain, but sincerely, thank you all for being here. And we'll be here next week if you want to watch us again.
You should.
Come back, please. We love you.